Hey, I think I'm gonna upload this right away. I already uploaded a video this morning, so but I want to post this while it's still relevant. And I'm really interested in comments because I'm still not quite sure what to make of it. And I apologize if this is a little disjointed. I just started an Instagram over the weekend. I've got some good pictures that I can't really obviously post on YouTube that are relevant to this, so I don't know how often I'm going to post on there, but already now I have something else I posted on there, so just look me up on there. It's Novel Goddess, and I'll post a link to this picture. But anyway, so I've had a weird 24 hours. I wanted to talk about it. Yesterday, so I've talked on this channel before, and I think the foundation of everything in this entire manifestation, creation, intention realm is your thoughts. Specifically, the thoughts that come from all of the beliefs that have been programmed into you. None of them are inherent. None of them, you're not born with beliefs or ideas about things. They're given to you by people as you grow up, and you learn them through things that happen. You decide that things are a certain way, sometimes when you don't have information to do that, or you decide that something that happened means something about who you are, at a tender age, and then it just stays with you. And these things make up pretty much all of your thoughts and judgments on everything, which makes up your entire experience. And I've been very aware of this since December, when I had kind of a spiritual awakening. I started to realize how much of my life was being experienced through a lens of I'm flawed at my core. I just came out rotten, essentially. I don't want to get into why I thought that. I've gone through it all and figured it out for the most part. But I find that with almost a 100% hit rate, if not 100%, if something happens that upsets me or causes an emotional reaction and it lingers around, and it's not like just a passing thing where I get pissed about something and just let it go. If something is lingering around, it is almost always because it has triggered something about me. It's triggered me feeling like there's something wrong with me. A flaw that will prevent me from ever really being okay and happy. This is almost always what it is. And so I've been trying to intentionally, anytime this happens, I look at, okay, well, this happened, and this happened. This specifically yesterday. There's kind of like a boom, boom, boom series of events that were not significant, but each one caused this emotional reaction. They kind of built on each other, and after about an hour, I just felt absolutely awful, completely awful, just depressed. I went home. I tried to kind of talk about it with someone. It didn't really help at all. It just kind of made me feel worse. And it of course wasn't long before I was like, all right, well, it doesn't really make sense that it's any of these events that happened. It's something else. What am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. That's basically all. I'm just feeling like I'm expendable. I'm not important. It always, feeling insignificant is a huge thing. It's a huge cause of shit feelings for me. I've said that a bunch of times on here. In my last official relationship with the person I manifested a text from yesterday, I often felt like an accessory. I didn't feel important. I didn't feel essential. I just felt like a bag he was carrying around or something. And then when the relationship ended, I just felt like, wow, you never even cared about me. That's how I felt. And I felt that way with Steve too. Even throughout the friendship, I'm like, he treats me like I'm an idiot, or I just felt like just an insignificant person that is not to be taken seriously. Like, that was my feeling. And I mean, the source of this is so obvious. If you know my history, there's a major event in my childhood where it explains feeling insignificant. Several, actually. So this is all like really well and good, and figured it out. Yay, I can like work on it or whatever, right? In the moment, at least, one benefit of at least being aware of it is that when it actually happens, like when these things come up, you know, I can understand that you just triggered me, but it's not you that did anything. You know what I mean? Like, so if Steve says something and I get triggered by it, I know it's not really what Steve said. He never even says anything bad. So anyway, I just kind of like went to bed last night hoping to wake up feeling better today, and I didn't. I woke up at 6:30 and I felt like shit still. I just felt depressed and crappy. And tried to think my way out of it. Couldn't really do it. And then at about 8, I said, okay, I'm going to do the I am meditation, where basically for a half hour you just repeat I am. And there's something about that is uplifting for me. And it kind of brought me up out of it a little bit, but not in a satisfactory way. I didn't feel like I had unraveled the mystery of why this caused me to feel this way, right? So for some reason, I'm scrolling through Reddit in bed still, and I've been subscribed to the Randonauts subreddit for a long time. I don't know why. I saw it at some point. I thought it looked kind of interesting, and I looked at the top post, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's kind of like geocaching. That was in my mind. I'm like, this is kind of like geocaching. But basically what it is, and by the way, you should just go visit the subreddit or Google it, because I know I'm not going to explain this fully, but basically this app takes your location and something generates a bunch of random points on a map, and it looks for an anomaly, or it looks for a place where there's a lot of points, which would be like an attractor, or it looks for a place where there's like not any, which would be a void. And then you can like pick where you want, you can tell it to pick you a void or pick you an attractor, or you can tell it to pick the biggest anomaly. So for some reason, I was moved to do this today. I downloaded the app today, read about how to do it, and by the way, kind of important, you intend for something to be a part of this quantum number generator. So basically, I intended to get clarity about why I was feeling that. Clarity was the word that I used, that I intended for. Basically, when it was generating me this point to visit, I intended for there to be clarity brought about by visiting that point. And so it generated the point, and I was all like hot to trot to go, but I forced myself to make my bed, get my shit together, and approach the whole thing calmly while holding this idea of clarity in my mind. And as I was leaving my building, I just knew there was going to be something there. I just said, and I knew that if I knew something was going to be there, then there would be something there. Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm pretty tapped into this whole thing. In this particular way, like if I can put some intention into something in my immediate experience, it seems to produce something. And so I was like, okay, there's going to be something there. And it took me into a neighboring city that has a pretty low income area. And so I ended up right across the street from a housing project. I'm not unfamiliar with this. It wasn't like super dangerous or anything. But it's right across the street from public housing. And it took me to a house, and I'll just go look at the picture of, this was what was on the house. That was the address of the location it gave me, which was an attractor point, by the way, not a void. And so the fact that there was anything there, anything poignant, anything of interest at all, it could have been an empty field, it could have been a laundromat, I mean, it could have been anything. But it took me to this house with this thing written on the front of it in chalk, right across from a housing project. And this was about 20 minutes ago. I'm in the parking lot of the gym now. I thought about it on the way over here. You know, when I saw that there was even anything there, and then when I saw what it was, I thought, okay, this is definitely significant. I don't know exactly what to make of this yet, but I had a kind of an instant sense of what it meant. Because yesterday also, I was thinking about Marianne Williamson and A Course in Miracles, and what the definition of a miracle is in those terms, in A Course in Miracles terms. And the definition is, or what causes the miracle to happen, is a shift in perspective. A shift in perspective changes not only your actual immediate experience of your life. Absolutely, you will experience people differently, you will experience your whole day differently if your perspective is different. But that shift in perspective also causes you to be different. You show up different. You act different. You choose differently. And you create your outer reality, both the physical reality and your perception of whatever that physical reality is and what those events are, those people are. That was my immediate sense. When I saw what was written on the house, you know, I thought, and where I was, you know, located geographically, looking around me, I immediately thought, man, like, I have lost perspective about what, you know, an amazing experience I have. You know, I don't know, like, it was pretty profound for me. It gave me the shift of perspective that I'm talking about instantly. It made me realize how the issues that I'm dealing with, like trying to figure out why it is that when somebody says something to me, I get triggered, and where that comes, like, I'm living in a playground. I'm living in a creative playground. To be able to spend my time on that, to be able to, I'm literally living in a mental creative playground, like just playing with ideas and concepts. You know, having the luxury of having time to think about this stuff and read about it and make videos about it and talk about it with other people, and that the fact that I have people in my life that even are open to these ideas. And you know, I can't believe how shitty I was feeling at 8:30 this morning. Feeling like, you know, I can't believe I have to deal with these problems that are just going to plague me forever. That is one way of looking out on the world. And another way of looking out on the world is, you know, I'm not living in a housing project, having just lost a baby and being so grief-stricken about it that I wrote his name in chalk on the front of my house. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Randonauting delivered the exact thing I needed to clarify my experience this morning. And I wanted to share this now. I'm sorry for putting out 2 videos. I feel like that's a lot. I don't know. I feel like everybody watching this is doing me a favor. It's like, I'm like, thank you for watching my video. I'm sorry to give you another one to watch, but I don't know. I wanted to talk about that and get that out there now while it was still relevant. Anyway, yeah.